Our next lesson is on writing the equation of a circle in general form. General form is not nearly as helpful or wonderful as standard form. So general form would typically be used if we have just a whole mess of stuff, and we would probably then turn it into standard form so that we can graph it, because obviously it's very easy to graph when we have it in standard form. So this is the same picture that we had in our last video. Notice that I've changed up the equation. Notice this is not super helpful. I can't really tell anything about the circle based on this equation. So we are going to practice how to go back and forth between the two forms, however. So this is obviously the standard form, and I want to write it in general form, which means that I'm going to distribute the x minus 4 to the x minus 4, because there are two of them, and I've got two y plus 3's, and then of course I've got my 25, which I'm going to end up moving to the left side. So if I FOIL this out, I get x squared minus 8x plus 16. If I FOIL this out, I get y squared plus 6x plus 9. And then of course I'm going to subtract the 25 and set it equal to 0. To put this into general form, I'm going to write my x squared first and then my y squared. Then I'm going to write my x value, so minus 8x, and then my y, so plus 6. Oops, this is a y. Sorry about that. And then I've got plus 16 and plus 9, which is 25, and I'm subtracting 25, which means I get 0. So this is my new equation in general form. Unfortunately, going from general form into standard form is a real pain in the rear, because what we'll have to do is actually complete the square twice. So what that means is I'm going to write this as x squared minus 12x plus blank, and then plus y squared plus 10y plus blank. I'm just going to separate them with parentheses to keep them, apart from each other. And then I'm going to take this minus 20, I'm going to add it to each side, so that's equals 20. And then plus blank plus blank. So whatever blanks I add here, I have to add to each side, because obviously this is my equal sign, and whatever I do to one side of an equation, I do to the other. Remember when we completed the square, we looked for that middle value, the b value. We took half of it and then squared it, so negative 12, half of that is 6, negative 6. Squaring, I get 36. So I'm going to add 36 here and here. Same thing, I'm going to take 10, I'm going to divide it in half, which is 5, I'm going to square it, which is 25. So this first set of three values now becomes x minus 6 quantity squared. Remember, that came from half of the minus 12. And then this second set of values is going to turn into y plus 5 quantity squared. And on this side, I have 20 plus 36, which is 56, plus 25, which is 81. Now that I have it in this form, I can answer the question. The center is the point 6, comma, negative 5. So the center is, remember, it's a y and it's a minus here. So minus 6 means it's actually positive 6. Positive 5 means it's actually negative 5. And then the radius is the square root of 81, which of course would be 9. One of those for you to try all by yourself. So press pause, take your time, work through this question, and then press play to check your work. Again, I'm going to have my x values together with a plus blank, and my y values together with a plus blank. I'm going to take my minus 8 and add it to each side to make it plus 8, and then I've got my two plus blanks. I'm going to take negative 8 and square it, half it and then square it. So negative 8 in half is negative 4, squared is 16. And then 2 in half is 1, 1 squared is 1. Which means my first set of terms turns into x minus 4 quantity squared, my second set into y plus 1 quantity squared. And then 8 plus 16 is 24, plus 1 is 25. The center would be the point +4, -1. Remember, we're looking at the opposite of those two values. And the radius would be the square root of 25, which is 5.